Hey, this is Todd Walker. I'd like to welcome everybody back for another video drum lesson. So what you just saw is going to be a basic introduction to what is known as metric modulation. And metric modulation is basically the shifting of rhythms from one note value equaling the speed or tempo of a new note value. So in the intro performance video, I played a 16th note groove to 4 measures, which modulated to an 8th note triplet groove for 4 measures, that modulated to 8th notes for 4 measures, and then it modulated to quarter notes for 4 measures. Now in simple terms, basically the speed of the 16th notes on the hi-hat equaled the speed of the 8th note triplets, and then the 8th note triplets equaled the speed of the 8th notes, and the 8th notes equaled the speed of the quarter notes. So the simple and most effective way to count all of this is to count 16th notes and keep the tempo the same, but you change your counting, which modulate into an 8th note triplet count, modulating into an 8th note count, modulating into a quarter note count. It's very simple and easy to do. So this is how we do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E enda, 2 E enda, 3 E enda, 4 E enda, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Once you put the snare drum on the 2 and 4 in each measure, that defines the modulated groove that you're going into. And it depends, because this can give the illusion of beats going faster or beats going slower. It depends what 2 values you modulate from and going into. And in some future videos, we shall explore that. If I play 16th notes on the hi-hat for 1 measure, and then go into triplets, 8th note triplets, with the backbeat of the snare on 2 and 4, the tempo of the hi-hat remains the same. So the tempo equals the new tempo going into the triplets. So I'll do a measure of 16th notes into a measure of 8th note triplets, and the 2 and 4 on the snare defines the new rhythm or the new note value that you modulated to. So 16th notes to 8th note triplets, 1 bar back and forth. So now we'll look at the 8th note triplets modulating to 8th notes. And once again, the snare drum will be on the 2 and 4. And again, that defines the new note value that you went into, because you can really hear the change or the shifting. So this will be a measure of 8th note triplets modulating to 8th notes on the hi-hat, snare drum on 2 and 4. And then finally, the 8th note tempo modulated to the new tempo of a quarter note. So once again, I'll play 8th notes with the backbeat on 2 and 4 into the quarter note tempo on 2 and 4. Now again, this type of concept is definitely used in a lot of fusion music, progressive rock, but metric modulation, again, gives the shifting feel between rhythms, but you're really not changing the tempo of the notes, you're just making those note values moving into the next note value at the same tempo. So what I'll do right now, before we go back to the performance video, is give you 1 measure of a 16th groove, modulating to 1 measure of an 8th note triplet groove, modulating to 1 measure of 8th notes, modulating to quarter notes. Now again, I realize this may seem very basic, but for those of you who are not aware of metric modulation, I think it's very simple to understand just by this basic little lesson. So once again, I'm Todd Walker. Thanks for watching. Let's go back to the performance video. I'll see you soon.